LEDs, so we'll put that in. And did the lights come on? Yes, they did. Haha. All right. Looks good. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Joel with Motors and Mischief. Today we're working on the new to us 2013 Jeep JK that we just purchased. As you can see, this Jeep has the standard amber turn signals right there and right there. It also has the standard amber running lights. We are not big fans of those. So we've purchased some products to go ahead and white those out. We're also upgrading them to LEDs at the same time, so check this out. All right, so right here we've got our clear side marker lights, and right here we've got our LED turn signals. So these are made by Axial. They are 8 LEDs, and they've got daytime running lights built into them. And these are made by RT Off-Road. These are not LED, but we ordered some LEDs to install in them, so we'll be going ahead and doing that. The first thing we've got to do to get started on this is we need to go ahead and pull the grill off this Jeep, so let's get that off. All right, next we have to pop out these 6 clips in order to get the top of this grill out. All right, once the top is out, then you just pull out on the bottom. Okay, and then we'll disconnect the bulbs. That's it. Grill's out. All right, guys, I can't stand surface rust or anything like this. It's supposed to be nice and black that isn't. So you guys take 2 seconds. I'm going to quick paint this black and then we'll get right back on this. So camera trick. There we go. Much better. All right, now onto these lights. Okay, in order to get these lights out of here, you just push on this little tab that's in the center and then push down. There's that one. There we go, and that's it. Both of those are out. Okay, next we grab our new lights, and these are left and right, and they also go in up or down. So we want to make sure that we install them with the writing so that you can read it when it's installed. And we want to make sure that we put the left on the left and the right on the right. This is the left. And of course, that's the car's left. So left on this one. Just like that.
And the car's on.
Okay, now with these installed, we need to remove these bulbs, just like that. And this plugs into here. And then this clips back in like this, so that the light stays waterproof. All right, and these wires are for the daytime running lights. So these have to be wired in separate. Now, some of the other videos that I've seen on these particular lights show wiring these into the parking lights. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, because then you have to turn on the parking lights to get your daytime running lights to come on. Instead of hooking these to the running lights, we're going to hook them to keyed power. So that way, whenever the key is in the on position, those lights will be on. When you turn the key off, it'll turn the lights off. All right, now we've got this all wired up and ready to go. We've got the wires that are going to go up to the fuse box carefully taped out of the way so that they won't fall down and interfere with anything. And the ballasts for these guys go into this. We'll install those once those get on, and the factory lights plug right back in here. So time for this to go back in. Okay, and then we need to install the ballast resistors so that the system doesn't think that the turn signals are out. Those ballasts can get pretty hot, so we're going to go ahead, they come with adhesive tape on it, we're going to go ahead and connect them to this metal painted surface because it'll be able to handle the heat just fine. All right, guys, let me show you the little problem we ran into as we were trying to get this put back in, just in case this happens to you. So this is facing down once this clips into place like it's supposed to. So this goes in like that. And it was facing in such a way that there was not enough slack in this wiring harness to be able to get this in. You saw me struggling with it a little bit ago, and that was this thing holding up the grill too far. So there is a little retainer clip right here. I just popped that out. That gave me about an inch of additional flex, which allows this to come down where it belongs. So I did have to take the headlight out to get to it, but it was no big deal. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 little screws, Torx head, and then the headlight comes right out. Just like this. So we're going to go ahead and put that wire back on, go ahead and clip this back in, and then reinstall the headlight, and then this can go back on. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the side marker lights here. Okay, boy, that was not easy to get off. So there is a frame piece that sits inside, and then there's the fender itself against the outside of it. This is sandwiched between it. So it's got to go towards the fender, which you saw me, you have to pull the fender out to be able to get to that. And then it unhooks from these two little guys and comes down. It barely fits. I don't see any way to get this frame out of here, but that's definitely what's in the way. So we'll just slide them up in between here and we'll put the other one back. And we'll have to replace those rivets, but I buy them in bulk because anytime you mess with the fenders on this Jeep, then you got to replace these because they're one-time use. Here's a new one. Okay, so that clips in at the bottom and then locks in at the top. All right, a regular pop rivet gun works just fine on the slightly smaller plastic rivets. That's what I used on the back. The ones I got for the front, slightly too large, and they don't fit into my pop rivet gun. So as you can see, you can just use a clip tool to hold it back, pull with these. Once it cinches down, just cut it off. It actually works just fine. And I say that because the tool that is available, I've had zero luck with. I've tried quite a few of them. They all haven't worked at all. Don't quite understand why, but this works just fine. And especially if you don't have it, you can save yourself 20 bucks for buying the tool. All right, guys, the lights are all in. The only thing we got to do left is wire up the running lights like we talked about before. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and take those wires that we ran up from in front of these right here. Oops, where are we? Right. Oh, these right here. So we're going to take these, we're going to solder in an extension onto these, and we're going to run them over here into the fuse box. Now, as far as which fuse we're going to use and how we're going to do that, we want a keyed power fuse. And I happen to know that M9 is the rear heated seats, and we don't have rear heated seats in this Jeep, and we're not going to get rear heated seats. So this fuse right here is currently empty, but it is keyed power. We'll go ahead and tap into that with this, which is a tap fuse. And we actually got this tap fuse off of this Jeep when we were disassembling all of the wiring that came with this Jeep from the from whoever had it before we bought it. So super cool that that's going to come in handy. So we're going to go ahead and run that wiring now. So let's go. Okay, so you know if you've been watching this channel for any time at all that we like soldering. So we're going ahead and cut this wire. All right, so we've twisted those together, which connects both these daytime running lights to each other. And then we're going to take the other end of this wire, we're going to solder it back to itself where we cut it off just now. And again, for those of you who are regular viewers of the channel, you've seen these before. These are solder connectors. Basically, they have solder, shrink wrap, and shrink tube, or constriction wrap and shrink tube, all in one of these things. So you put them on and then you heat them up, the solder melts, these crimp the wire, and then the shrink tube goes over the whole thing and protects it. So super great way to make these connections. So we'll go ahead and use one of these. All right, you can see right there. See how close we can get. That shows the wire connected underneath the solder and both of the wires sheathing underneath those crimp areas. And there we go, the solder melted. So you gotta be really careful in doing that. If you get it too hot, the sheath will melt, and then that defeats the whole purpose. You gotta pull that off and start over again. So you want it to be just hot enough that it melts the solder, but not so hot that it melts the sheath. But I think we did pretty good there. Looks great. I forgot to run that through the little hole right there, and we want to do it nice and clean, so we're going to do that. So I just cut this apart, but to give you guys an idea of how strong these are, this is that crimp connector that's still holding that, and I cannot get that off of there. So I'm going to have to cut this farther back and solder it back in. So that shows you how strong that little crimp part is there that grabs a hold of the wire. And that's not the solder that goes in right here. That's the most important part, but this also does crimp on either side of the wire to strengthen it. So. Let's see if those running lights work when we turn on the lights. I mean, when we turn on the ignition. Oh, you know what? No fuse in the top of this, just in the bottom. All right, I got a 7.5 amp fuse because these little circuits are not going to be drawing anything at all for the LEDs, so we'll put that in. And did the lights come on? Yes, they did. All right. Looks good. Pretty cool. All right, so those come on with the key. So I'll set you guys right here where you can see, and I'll go shut the key off. Watch what happens. Success. All right, guys. Well, the weather was super nice and the trails were calling. So we grabbed the Jeep and we took it out four-wheeling to test out the new running lights, and they work fantastic. Everything stayed together. We didn't lose anything. So we got back late. It's the next day, and I just want to wrap this video up for you. So I'm going to show you here. Check it out, how nice the Jeep looks with its white lights. There and there. No more amber, which looks really good. And then stand by, and we'll turn on the running lights so you can see what's going on. All right, see that? So that's how we've got amber lights once they're turned on. And then for turn signals, go ahead and hit the flashers to show you what those look like. But see, nice and amber on those too. So pretty exciting. That looks great. All right, guys, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to install those white lights on a JK and how to wire up the daytime running lights so that they come on with the key and you don't have to hit any buttons. If you did if you would like to subscribe to the channel, then you become part of the Mischief Mafia. That's pretty sweet. And if you hit that bell, then you know when we're hanging out. All right, so yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks so much for watching. We love you. Take care. Peace. New white lights out and tested them out on the... All right, guys. Well, so now we'll route this around here under this.